by the Cowboys and the Broncos yesterday. By the way, we mentioned how awful the uniforms were in our first game. Shefty, how about these old school Broncos?
Hey, this organization should go back to them full time.
And awesome. Candidly, if they're going to run the ball like this, they can wear whatever they want. There's no defense at all. R.J. Harvey, a 40-yard touchdown run. Broncos up 7-3 early, and then it's Bo Nix. Alex, how about this throw?
I mean, this is just presence. He was feeling it yesterday, especially pushing the ball downfield like this.
Broncos up 27-10 late in the half. Dak Prescott, Rex, the Denver defense was all over him.
Oh, absolutely. And right here, this is a terrible pass here by Dak. He's got to score every time he gets it. He's got to feel that way.
So now we go to the third quarter at 27-10. Cowboys with a fourth down. They're going for it. We didn't see enough, I think, of George Pickens yesterday.
Yeah, he had 7 catches, as did CeeDee Lamb. But listen, this was your best matchup on the field, and I thought they should have gone to it more often, especially Patrick Surtain out late.
Cowboys fighting back. Javonte Williams, anytime touchdown hits for me.
Way to go, Greeny.
Brian Schottenheimer loves it. Cowboys Cowboys down 27-17. Then they punt on a 4th and 5, which a lot of people didn't like. And then Troy Franklin, Rex, can you be more open than this?
Are they playing with 11? I think they got 10 out there, man. I tell you what, Gum State defense strikes again.
Yeah, Jerry's going to hear him in a minute say it's not just one player they need. Maybe they didn't have enough players on the field. The Cowboys are fun to watch offensively. Their defense is atrocious. Yesterday was their 4th game allowing 30 points and 400 yards this season. Last year they only had 3 such games, despite ranking 28th in total defense. After the game, Jerry Jones said this about how the Cowboys can get better on D.
A loss is discouraging, but as far as my temperament, if I saw a proposition for us to help this team, no matter what this score was today, then I would look at it on the merits of helping this team. So I'd have to answer your question, no, today would not affect a decision on trading for a player. We one player away on defense. I think we're not. I think we're more than that away, but what we're closer to than it looks in my mind is executing better on defense.
Executing better on defense.
I'm all for the execution of that defense. And I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be difficult for an offense coordinator.
Tell me why.
Going against this outstanding defense. Because you got to decide, are you going to run it or are you going to pass it? And that, to me,
Tough decision.
very tough. Very tough. I mean, I'm surprised they don't get a lot of delay of game penalties, to be honest with you.
They're that bad. I mean, right?
They're absolutely atrocious.
Rooting for them is excruciating. I mean, it's excruciating to watch them and just watch their defense be as incredibly bad as it was yesterday.
They're on pace, or they've given up 250 points so far this season, midway through the season.
Right.
Anytime the defense has performed like this in the past, they've been below 500 and they haven't made the playoffs. And this is the problem. There are weeks where the Cowboys look so strong offensively and they come out defensively and give up plays like this repeatedly. And you can't be a certifiable, viable playoff contender if you're playing defense like this on a regular basis.
Listen, Greeny, you and I get to work with Rex, on Sundays as well. We know his feelings about this Dallas defense. This defense might even be worse than Rex feels about them. To put this in perspective, to say it was uncompetitive would be an understatement. There's nobody in these frames on these routes. Like, again, running at 10 yards a carry. J.K. Dobbins, 180 yards rushing. We showed the toss crack. I don't think they're touching R.J. Harvey on these plays. And by the way, they just didn't do it once. It was like, hey, we're going to line up in the same formation and do it again and again and again. And I mean, I can't tell you how many 3rd and longs looked like such easy conversions. It didn't make sense. And again, to your point, Rex, Shoddy, he's got to flip it. He's got to become Dan Campbell. And he's got to try and score a touchdown on every single drive. The offense is the strength of this team, and you need to have your foot on the gas. And again, these late punts in that game made no sense to me.
True.
You knew your defense.
It wouldn't have made any difference. I agree with you. They weren't going to get a stop at any point they needed to anyway. But yes, that was a questionable decision that he makes, and then the Broncos go down and put it out of reach. In fact, D-Wood, when I asked you this morning, well, how about Denver? You were making the point, against that, you can't even say their offensive woes are cured after they look pretty bad against the Jets and 3 terrible quarters against the Giants, because the Cowboy defense is just that bad.
Yeah, they're that bad. And I think that's really the biggest question coming out of the game is okay, is Bo Nix, is this the real Bo Nix or not? Because the Dallas defense can give you a mirage out there of sorts.
Yes.
But listen, the way Bo Nix played, this was the best Bo Nix has played all season long. This running game really came to life. And I will say this, even when you play against a bad defense, sometimes it can jumpstart you. And so we're going to see with the combination of how they play offensively and how great their defense is. Boy, now we're going to have an interesting discussion in the AFC West with the Kansas City Chiefs.
They're going to be 8-2. Just if you look at the Broncos, they have a bye in here, and they have 2 very winnable games. Very good chance they'll be 8-2 when they play Kansas City on November 16th.
No doubt, and I totally agree with you, Greeny. Obviously, going against that Dallas defense, was it a great sign for Denver offense? We don't know. I will say this. We know the Dallas Cowboys offense is elite.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This was the best defensive performance we've seen. I mean, Denver shut them down yesterday. Obviously, Dak with the 2 picks really limited him and got after him. So, I mean, you got to be encouraged.
We'll have a lot more on them as we go. Usually Mondays are just about the NFL. But again, another week, another college football major firing. We need the insight on Brian Kelly, dismissed yesterday in the 4th year of a 10-year contract at LSU after being dismantled by Texas A&M on Saturday night. Tigers have lost 2 straight, 3 out of 4. LSU may have to pay Kelly $54 million to not coach them through 2031. The buyout pieces are still being worked out, but the story remains Brian Kelly out at LSU. The man you want to hear from, of course, is Paul Feinbaum. You have the coach on your show every single Monday, so you obviously know him well. Do you believe this was the right move that they made yesterday in Baton Rouge?
Absolutely. Greeny, not only did they lose on the field, he lost in the locker room. I don't think he had anybody believing him anymore, and he certainly didn't have anybody in the stands believing him because they were all gone by the end of the game. But the most important person that didn't believe in him, interestingly, wasn't his boss, but it was the governor of the state of Louisiana, who managed to get in the middle of this because they have an interim president. They had a meeting yesterday. He decided, the group of them decided Kelly had to go. $54 million is a lot of money. Interestingly, Greeny, Scott Woodward, who hired Kelly and allowed him to have that $54 million buyout, also hired Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, who got a $76 million buyout.
So he's about $120 million in arrears when it comes to hiring coaches, but that's a whole separate issue. All right, who do they circle? Who do they go after for what is certainly still one of the elite jobs in the country?
There's no doubt Lane Kiffin will be at the top of the list, and I know that sounds familiar. He's at the top of the Florida list and probably anybody else's list, but that's who he is, Greeny. He's a charismatic coach. He's colorful, and he's also an offensive genius, as we saw Saturday in Norman when Ole Miss beat Oklahoma in a mild upset. So will Kiffin leave is the question. His team has just about already stamped a playoff bid. That will be the question as we get closer to the end of the season.
Very quickly, because you know the dynamics so well, if he is offered both Florida and LSU and is willing to leave, which is the more desirable spot?
It's a close call, but in my mind, LSU is a better job. It just has a great infrastructure down there. As I say that, I realize that they fired the last 3 or 4 coaches. But I think Lane Kiffin fits that culture pretty well. He's familiar with it. He's also familiar with Florida, as we said last week. But I don't think there's any question that of the jobs opening, LSU is going to be the one that everybody wants.
You're the best. Paul, thank you so much for jumping in on a Monday morning. We run here. We've got so much still to come on the NFL, including Saquon Barkley.